Hey everyone, this is Mike, and I'm here with Isaac.
Hey,
And we're here to talk about video games. More specifically, we're here to talk about a very, very specific topic that I just recently discovered, even though this is apparently a topic that has been around for a couple of months now. But okay, are you familiar with the term ball and gun gamer?
yeah, it's existed. It's not. It's actually existed for a very long
Yeah,
time.
and it has. It absolutely has. It's just that
So,
the topic is popped up a few months ago, and personally, me speaking, I didn't even know what the heck a ball and gun gamer was exactly, because when I was growing up, I actually called them dude bro gamers. And basically it's kind of the same thing, but basically what a ball and gun gamer is a person who basically only plays games with balls and guns. So basically a person that likes to play mainstream FPS games like Call of Duty, Halo, maybe Battlefield, and sports games like, Madden,
well,
NBA 2K.
generally, it's a gamer that just really enjoys playing sports games and first-person
Yeah,
shooters. That's really the sum of it.
yeah,
At the end of the
obviously,
day,
but it's
any
it's
types of
always
sports games.
those kinds of specific games, and it's mainstream games. They don't even play like, like indie versions of sports games are like that. It's always going to be like Madden, 2K, FIFA. In fact, they don't call it FIFA anymore. It's called
Football,
Sports Football Club now, right?
football
Yeah,
club,
but it's basically only mainstream like sports game or
MLB
mainstream
show,
MLB
MLB
the
the
show,
show.
MLB the show. Yeah,
Maybe Forza Sports in it. That's
occasionally, but that's
that's
very very
introduction.
rare.
Gran Turismo, and then your first person shooters or your Call of Duties. Sometimes your Battlefields. Sometimes even your CS:GOs. Even though
Rarely,
CS:GO
because
feels
despite
a unique,
CS:GO being
different
very
situation.
yeah, because despite CS:GO being very popular, it's not really what that kind of crowd of people tends to go
No,
to, because
no,
they
no.
tend to also be console gamers,
Yeah.
and CS:GO is not really readily
Well,
available on most
it's more of a
consoles.
PC gamer. It's
Well, a console gamer
well,
thing mostly.
well, what I think when we talk about the first person shooting games, we're talking about those action fast paced Twitch first person shooting
Like
games that
Twitch,
are
yeah,
more arcadey than most.
yeah, because Twitch based shooters like Quake and like Unreal Tournament aren't, and
Doom,
Doom.
yeah,
That's not really that's not, well, besides Doom, all these other like Twitch based shooters aren't really a thing
more
anymore.
real
Yeah, military
more
action.
military action
Yeah,
games.
that's what they usually like to play.
But
Or and
it's
Halo, and Halo.
yeah,
But
but
again, the
yeah.
reason why I brought this up is because it seems like this topic has been again coming up a lot more recently, with a lot of people feeling that this group of gamers is very, very, like, I guess, would, how do I put this? They're very simple. Very simple minded, and that's in what they think makes a video game good. They don't really like single player games. They only in it for the multiplayer. They think that indie games are bad. And these are also a lot of people that tend to think that the gaming industry is on the downfall because like there's no good games. It usually comes from that kind of crowd, and it's just you want to just to say to these people that like they're on something, but the unfortunate truth with these kinds of gamers is that they do make up a very large majority of like market of the gaming market. Because if you were to go to like the PlayStation store and see like the top video games on the market, it's usually mostly FPS games and sports games. In fact, let me check right now, like PlayStation current top sellers. I just want to see that real quick. Yeah, and I'll get to see like Call of Duty, yeah, Grand Theft Auto. Well, that's in pre-orders. Like you see NBA 2K2, like I guess Resident Evil. That would now that wouldn't be really technically a gun game, but it's not that kind of gun
Is
game.
that even
Mm-hmm.
accurate
Mm-hmm.
with AI?
That is
I'd be
true.
careful with
Yeah,
using
true.
AI.
Yeah,
I would
obviously.
go to an actual real
Yeah,
website
right
that would
here. Obviously, like one of the top was like
U.S. and
NBA.
Canada.
Like see,
But you see games like 007 for Sights up there,
mhm,
Lego, NBA 2K, but then you start to see your NBA 2K6, your MLB, like we said, the show, Grand Theft Auto
auto.
5, because
Yeah.
mostly for the online, Minecraft. So yeah, pretty much generically a lot more of the casual gamers. I think when we think about the sports game, like you said, the ball and gun characters, it usually fits within that simple, like you said, that simple category of casual gamers that will
Hmm.
sit down and play these games. And also 9 out of 10, they even may even try a Fortnite or a Grand Theft Auto simply for the online community aspects of a lot of those games. They're sitting down and introduced. Um, but personally for me, um, in terms of the argument of what makes a gamer, to me, I feel like it feels like a weird apples and orange argument for me because um I can only speak for myself. I'm the same person that does love Ocarina of Time and Pokemon,
Hmm.
but I also do love to dabble in NBA 2K. Again, now I have not played 2K since 15, and I barely even touch it. EA Madden. Again, me hopefully trying to find other alternatives of simulation football games out there that can rival an EA. That's yet to be determined. I used to like to play a lot of Maximum Football though, but unfortunately, how that company is being run at the moment, it doesn't seem like it has a leg to stand on. But yeah, I think just personally to me, it's just this whole idea like if you don't play a certain type of game, that doesn't necessarily make you a gamer. I think at the end of the day, it's just different folks for different strokes. I think if you love the online competitives, is the idea of playing, taking your sports team or taking your college team to play against other people, then that's for you. You enjoy the competitive aspect, the online connectivity of challenge, of rivals. Um, Again, that doesn't deter a gamer that sits down and enjoys, a basic storytelling mode. Like you play it for the experience of story, you play it for the experience of gameplay and how that story unravels. And then after you're done, maybe you go back to explore other aspects of that particular story point of the game, or you even set the difficulty up to challenge more of your skills not that you went through that first playthrough. Again, I think it just, and then like you said, there's different shades of gamer that sit down and exist that do overlap with certain games. So for now to have this weird discourse where it just seems to be either one end or the other, um, I, I think it's just starting to really come out of nowhere, and I think it's starting to come out of nowhere since the last time we talked about how college football 25, was I'm starting to see a lot of YouTubers that were coming out and start to express the same problems that EA that are doing to their game, which we've known for a very long period of time. EA has done to all of their games right now. It's just starting to
Hmm.
happen to their neck of the woods. Because like going back to what we say, they're very simple. They're a little bit also kind of sheltered in their own space when it comes to their own games. So they really don't go out and
Yeah.
talk to other gamers about what's happening until it comes and affects them.
Well, okay, and yeah, and all of that you just said is obviously very valid. Yeah, obviously, I'm not gonna be like some kind of prude that says that like ball and gun gamers aren't real gamers. But I think a big reason where this discourse is coming from
Mm-hmm.
is from that community of said ball and gun gamers that go out of their way to say that anything outside of those games are also not real games because it also for people saying that they enjoy like the competitiveness, the multiplayer, and people are saying like, oh, single player games have no replay value. Oh, single player games aren't challenging because you're going up against an AI that's predictable. And I really feel like that's where the discourse is coming from, because this community of people are basically only playing a certain genre of game, and especially it's considering that it's a genre of game that rarely makes any changes to its formula, if
That's
at
true.
all, especially considering they continue buying like a Madden game every year. They keep buying like a football club game every year,
I agree.
2K game every year. And what exactly is changing between these new games that you need to go out and buy a brand new copy of it, other than like an updated roster, maybe like updates to some of the game modes, and maybe like one new like mechanic, like
No, and that's kind of, again, going back to the whole college football fiasco with 27 now, with the microtransactions right now. Again, I always argue about those particular gamers and their simplicity on how they continue to allow a lot of these terrible microtransactions to sit down and happen. And now, again, like a company like EA that is willing to be ballsy enough to do these kind of microtransactions to the most simplest group of gamers. Unfortunately, they are. Now all of a sudden they're getting worked up about it. When again, if they've ever stepped out to see the other part of the gaming industry, this has been a problem for a very long time. It's just coming home to roost in your genre of gaming.
Yep. It's just like haven't been for way too long, and
now they're starting to notice it.
Yeah, now I'm starting to notice it. Like, these people are a big segment of the market,
100%,
and they are kind of leading the industry in this very weird way. We're just re-releasing titles over and over and over again. It's perfectly fine, to the point where like every other like industry does it. Like, in fact, it's even gone far to affect like, primarily single player games like Assassin's Creed, how we keep getting an Assassin's Creed game every single year because they follow the Madden like 2K formula, and just like, and we're kind of just
not even just the Madden formula, even the Call of Duty formula.
Yeah, Call of Duty. That's what I want to say.
They're able to put out a game almost every year, rotating between different
Treyarch. Like, I forget.
Well, it used to be Infinity War and Treyarch, but I don't think even those two. Those two.
I forget. I don't
even still exist.
I don't even know. I think they exist to some extent. I don't remember the 3 studios that
I think it was only 2. I think it was only 2 studios.
I believe it moved to 3. Like, how? In fact, let me ask real quick. How many studios work on Call of Duty? Just ask real quick. It was 6 to 8. Oh, 6 to 8 support studios. Yeah.
Well, it makes sense because you'll still have your main studios that will focus on the single player, but then you'll have the smaller studios to focus on the online, because they're completely different teams.
Well, it's 4 lead studios and 4 support studios.
Okay.
Infinity Ward.
So it's grown.
Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, and Raven, and then they have Beanox, High Moon Studios, Demonware, and Activision Shanghai. Like, what the hell, man?
Okay, well, again, there's sports that specialize that work more on ports and the global aspect of delivering the game. So they don't really work on the actual game development.
Yeah,
more than just translation and ports.
Well, yeah, but still, it just kind of shows how ridiculous it is, because of these rotating these like games to essentially make the same game over and over again.
Yeah, which sit down and sells, and then it goes back to the argument about the fact that a company like Sony is comfortable to be bold enough and say, hey, in the next couple of years, we're not going to add disc anymore, because, again,
you're going to buy it anyway.
This particular group, that is the masses, has been willing to buy the same game over and over again without any physical copies. And more uncertain than that, I think if you go back there, I think some of the top games were already re-releases at full digital copy prices.
I mean, technically, like Grand Theft Auto, it's also like, it's one of those games. Yeah. It's just like, even in the PS4 games, it's like Red Dead Redemption 2 and stuff like that. Yeah, I get what you mean. I totally do. It's
You
just
know,
like it's crazy. It's really crazy that this group of players really commands a large
it,
chunk of the direction that the industry is.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you're going to formulate your plan on the biggest part of the industry
The biggest fish. You gotta get the biggest fish.
and unfortunately all those decisions, again, I feel we continue to call them very simplistic, but yeah, you're going to focus a lot on them because again, they're the ones that are willing to put in the money into transactions. They're the ones that are willing to continue to do this. Like I said, it was very funny when college football fans started to get upset that they were putting microtransaction dead front. But you were comfortable doing this for multiple games. It was Ultimate Team and Dynasty Mode and all these other sections in 2K.
Like the My Park.
The My Park system. Yeah. You were not willing to sit down and play the game. Instead, you were able to fork up maybe $20-$30 just so you could speed up your prices, your progress in order to get in to the game faster. You were comfortable in doing that. So you guys, even when you bought the game, you guys never really sat down to invest or to sit down and enjoy it or to actually go through the process. You just put in your credit card to eventually skip past that.
Yeah.
They
It's
saw
just
that and they're going to try to figure a way to manipulate that. So again, I'm not sorry that you guys are feeling bad the way you are. It does suck, if you want to sit down and enjoy these games. Like I said, I do enjoy playing the 2K once in a while, but I'm not a big fan of going online, to be honest. I'll just sit there and play it for the season right now. End of the day, just play and challenge the computer at the end of the day because that's my joy, that's my interest, and I get my itch, and I'm fine with it. Maybe I'll sit down and test the waters on online, but 9 out of 10, that's not really for me at the end of the day.
But yeah, there's one more thing I wanted to point out because it's kind of the whole reason why I wanted to have this discussion is because again, it seems like with this whole discourse, some people are actually finding the term ball and gun to be like something offensive now,
Oh, really?
which I think it's absurd. It got to the point where someone online decided to try to coin the phrase sword and potion gamers, which I guess is supposed to describe people who like RPGs, which is, I think it's just kind of absurd because
it's like their attempt to
try to clap back at the people
that gave you the ball and gun situation, and now they want to go sword and potion, which is kind of weird because it's like
you're describing one genre of game.
It's a
genre of game, and it doesn't fit anything. In fact, just hearing the discourse about this, it's like the phrase part about the war that ball and gun gamers accurately depicts the games that they play, while sword and potion gamers only depicts a single genre of game. This kind of ish is exactly why ball and gun gamers get ridiculed. This type of bullying personality is exactly the type where the competition is number one cause for your gaming hobbies. You want competition. You don't really care about the industry as a whole. It's just like,
yeah. I mean, again, it was never your game of tea to begin with. So, but I also understand at some point why you're going to go out of way to knock on something that wasn't your interest to begin with. Like, again, if you're not interested in playing a game like Soul Calibur, or you're not interested in playing a game like Elder Scrolls, I totally understand that. It's not your cup of tea. But to sit there and go online and sit there that you're not an actual real gamer because it doesn't have any of these components that you enjoy or like, I think it's a little bit ridiculous and very misguided and a little bit short-sighted in your own realm of what you think games are. I even go in to say this for a lot of people that go after people that just play a lot of phone games on their phone. A lot of the same group that is going after ball and guns, we go after people that said, hey, you're not a gamer because you don't actually own a PC, or you're not playing your game on any of these consoles. Because you only play your game on phone, that doesn't necessarily make you a gamer, pretty much, in some shortest spot. even though there are some aspects that some people enjoy gaming for, you know. So
Yeah.
I think it's sometimes this weird gatekeeping we do exactly who is actually a gamer. To me, I think is a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're finding your enjoyment, you're finding your entertainment. At the end of the day, it's all entertainment. At the end of the day,
Well, yeah, obviously, because I enjoy all sorts of games. The point on that for me, I personally don't care if you actually enjoy like at Madden or
Yeah.
Call of Duty. It's like play whatever you want. I'm just thinking that the whole Discord is silly, and I really do get why the Discourse is. I get why it's just happening. I just do think that people need to broaden their horizons just a little bit more and stop dogging on like people for what they enjoy just a little bit.
I agree.
But still, at the end of the day, I know this is how the gaming space has always been. It's not going to change anytime soon. So yeah, I just think it's funny.
No,
Anyway,
but I sit down and
yeah.
agree with you too. I think it is. I think it is important for people just to broaden their horizons a little bit in gaming and be able to do some things a little bit. You know, to just test your waters in other game genres, see what else you like. You know, not everything has to be you again, but don't go out of your way in the lane to curse out and say you're not a gamer because you don't like this particular kind of genre. I think it's just incredibly short-sighted.
Yeah. So anyway, what do you think about this whole topic, this whole discourse? Are you a ball and gun gamer? Do you like the balls and the guns? That sounded so bad. Do you like these kinds of games? Are you not into these kinds of games, or do you just not care? I mean, let us know in the comments below. And if you like what we do here, please rate, comment, and subscribe. I'm Mike with Isaac, and we are saying peace. Do you